Hello again. Well, in this video, we're going to be discussing some of the historical roots of English, which, while technical, is a useful background to the phonemes we use today. The original roots of English stem from Anglo-Saxon. This is important to know because they are the words we use every day. Anglo-Saxon words, however, are only one layer of English. They're the foundation. We need them to start reading. They're the words that most children see in their early books at school. But the English language has two other layers of words that are not everyday words. They are the professional words of English. They are the sophisticated layers of English. They are the words we read as we move into the kinds of books that children want to read, like Harry Potter. The words from these layers of English have got different decoding patterns, and students need to learn these. To understand the layers, we have to tell you the story of English. We have to go back in history. The story tells us that the English language is like an old archaeological site. We can think of the English language as a pyramid. At the bottom layer of the pyramid, we find all the Anglo-Saxon words. This is Old English. In the middle of the pyramid, in that middle layer, we find Romance words. These are words from Roman origin, the Latin and French words. That's called Middle English. And in the top layer, we find Greek words. They came into the language more recently with the scientific discoveries of medicine, engineering, and so on. You know, the first invaders of England, whose language we know about, were the Celts. They invaded England way back, more than 2,000 years ago. They called themselves Britons. A few of their words are still with us, like London and the River Thames. Then in CE 56, the Romans invaded England and pushed the Celts into the west and north. The Roman language was Latin, and during their rule, some Latin words came into English, mainly because of the influence of missionaries and the Bible. When the Roman Empire finally fell and the Romans withdrew from England in 410, a new set of invaders came from Northern Europe. These were Frisians, Jutes, Saxons, and Angles. They pushed the Celts to Wales and the Scottish border. And after many years of war, a new nation emerged called England, and a new language called Anglo-Saxon. This language is what we now call Old English. It was the main language in the period 450 to 1150. During that period, in 793, the Vikings from Scandinavia began raiding England, and hundreds of their words came into the language. They brought words like mother, father, man, wife. Then, in 1066, William, Duke of Normandy, invaded England and defeated King Harold at the Battle of Hastings. After the Norman conquest of England, French became the official language. For the next 300 years, it was the language of the upper classes. The French nobility thought Old English was the language of peasants. You know, this difference in the way we think about language, it's still with us. Even now, French words seem more sophisticated. Like, for example, mushroom comes from French. The Old English word was toad's hat. A dress shop sounds quite common, but a boutique sounds classy. A cook sounds ordinary, but a chef sounds like an expert. During the domination of France, their language was the language of the upper class, English of the lower class. The impact of French on English created what we call Middle English. In the 1500s, the Renaissance and the revival of classical learning saw many Latin words come into the language. Words like conflagration came into the language. In the 1600s, subject areas like science were expanding and needed new words to describe their technical discoveries. Science borrowed many Greek and Latin words to do this. Words like phosphorescence came from Greek into the language. Yeah, so the story of English is like a huge construction project that took thousands of years. In the bottom layer are the ordinary, everyday words we speak. In the top layers are the classy words, the more professional words. This gives English a richness, a wide range of vocabulary. But for the phonics teacher, it's also a challenge. There's not just one layer to teach how to decode, but 3 layers. We need to teach our students about the story of English because it'll help them to understand the complexities of the writing system that they have to learn to decode. They need to be comfortable with all 3 layers of English to enable their success as readers and writers, so they can read not just everyday words in print, but sophisticated words as well. Like, next time you go to the supermarket, think about whether you're going to be Anglo-Saxon and ask for a piece of pig or cow, or French and ask for a piece of pork or beef. So, as the Anglo-Saxons would say, I bid thee farewell. Or as the French would say, au revoir.